I think we've probably all had the experience of joining a new group. Maybe it's a new baseball team. Baseball season's about to start, or a soccer team. Maybe it's the first day of school when you're meeting new classmates and new teachers. That first time we get together, you often have some kind of introduction. Maybe your baseball coach sits you in a circle and has everybody say their name to get to know each other a little bit better. Or on that first day of school, you go to class and you do some kind of an icebreaker, or you've got name tags or names on your desk. We do this a lot. When we join a new group, we start with some kind of introduction. Sometimes then people wonder, why do Catholics do this weird thing where they shake hands in the middle of Mass? Why don't you shake hands at the beginning of Mass? That seems like the place for the greeting. Well, the reason is from today's gospel. It says, "Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and then recall that your brother has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar. Go first and be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift." So the Jewish people had all these rituals where they would go to the temple and they would offer a sacrifice. They may bring some animals or some food or something that they would offer. And what God is telling them here is, when you come to offer that gift, you're bringing a more important offering. You're bringing the offering of yourself. You're bringing the offering of your heart. And if you come to the altar with that gift and your heart's not ready to truly worship and sacrifice to God, go get your heart ready. If you remember that you have a fight or an argument with your brother or your neighbor or your friend, it's more important to fix that than it is to bring your gift to the altar. And so go fix it and then come back to the altar. We do the same thing in Mass with the sign of peace. Where you're sitting right now, you can picture without even looking who's sitting around you, what people are around you. And because we're classmates and spend all kinds of time together, there may be somebody around you that you don't get along with very well. Maybe there's somebody around you that frustrated you this week. Maybe they called you a name on the playground. Maybe they messed with stuff on your desk whenever they walk past you. And if you're thinking those things, if you can think of someone, maybe a classmate like that, there might be a classmate who thinks the same thing about you. We get frustrated with each other sometimes. When you come to Mass on Sunday and sit with your siblings, does anybody ever get frustrated with your sibling? Yeah. Do you ever get frustrated with your parents on the way to church because they want you to wear the brown shoes and you want to wear the black shoes? Does that ever happen? Yeah. So we come sometimes to church without peace in our hearts. And so when it comes time for that sign of peace, it's not just a greeting. It's not the time to be silly or playful with your friends. It's not a time to rush through and see how many hands you can shake. It's the time to do what the gospel says, to make peace in our heart with our brother. And so today, when we get to the sign of peace in a few minutes, I want you to really think about that. Is there somebody around you who's maybe been a little frustrating lately? If so, make a point to shake that person's hand with peace in your heart and forgiveness for the things that have happened. Our first reading today was complaining about how things are unfair sometimes. Maybe that seems unfair, but that peace is what we need to bring to the altar, not the frustration of the unfairness. Maybe the person you need forgiveness with and peace with is not here in this church today, but we can think about them, bring that person to heart, have that forgiveness and peace in our heart. So when you reach out and say, "Peace be with you," remember you're also saying, "I'm sorry and I forgive you." That's what we are called to do by this gospel. That's what the sign of peace is about, and not some time of silliness in the middle of Mass. So take the sign of peace seriously today and make yourself worthy to approach the altar of God.